inaugural Women's Australian Championships in 1922 and again in 1923. She was among the world's top 10 during her career, a significant achievement when so few women were able to compete at the highest level in many sports. Maud Margaret Molesworth inspired many young girls and women to take up the sport as Australia's first professional female coach. Our second inductee, Joan Hartigan, won the Women's Australian Championships in 1933, 34 and 36. She also reached the semi-finals of Wimbledon twice in the 1930s, at a time when women rarely travelled to compete. Ranked at world number 8 at just 21 years of age, her talent earned her an invitation to tour with the Davis Cup team. She was a popular draw card at a time when the presence of women in the sport was growing, and continued to make a significant contribution to tennis as a coach and administrator after she retired from competition.
My grandmother was a very disciplined person with a lot of drive and a lot of self-belief. There's one story about her training when she was young, where she did 1,000 skips on a jump rope every day, somewhat like a boxer. She was Australia's first women's professional tennis coach. She was also very involved in various women's organisations, business organisations, and was a great advocate for women in business. I think it's important to honour our ancestors and keep their spirits alive in the next generations. That's why I called my eldest daughter Maud.
I was very mad at my parents for naming me Maud, but over time I've come to really love my name. I feel honoured to carry the name Maud.
Most of these reports, indeed all of them, I think came from Australian newspapers. She always talked a lot about winning the Australian Open, which I think she won it 3 times. She had an exceptionally good forehand, very, very powerful forehand. She won an awful lot of points off that, and she had a good serve, a good net play, and what might be charitably described as a passable backhand, I think was the weakness was. The women's tournament, say the Australian Open, was as much a headline act as the men's, and that would have really pleased her. Because she played, you said, only 10 years after they were allowed to play. She'd feel immeasurably proud and humbled. She'd be embarrassed by it, but you'd be terribly proud by it.
It feels wonderful to know that Maud was not just a tennis champion, but she was also a coach, a teacher, a mentor, and an advocate for women in sports at her time.
I'd like to acknowledge Joan's daughter, Mary Cook, who's with us tonight, as well as her son, the Honourable Justice Thomas Bathurst. They're here tonight, which is a wonderful privilege for them to see what is about to be unveiled. And I'd like to invite Alicia Mollick and Casey Delacroix to join us, and they'll unveil the bust of Maud Margaret Molesworth and Joan Hartigan.
Very good evening, everybody, and welcome to Melbourne Park, and specifically Rod Laver Arena, the second of today's women's quarterfinals coming your way. Jessica Pegula and Barty right at this minute walking down the tunnel of champions to enter this very famous Rod Laver Arena. And it is a very poignant moment indeed, certainly for Pegula, who's less experienced at this level than her opponent, Barty, who must feel as if she owns this court now. She's played all her matches here this week. She's the world #1. She's very experienced and she's in imperious form. So a big moment for Pegula. And we're just about to have the official welcome on to Rod Laver Arena.
It's quarterfinal time in the women's singles on Rod Laver Arena. Please welcome from the United States of America, Jessica Pegula. And her opponent, world #1 from Australia, Barty.
Big smile from Barty as she walks onto court. She's just in a wonderful space at the moment. I think it's fair to say that in the past, some players have struggled with being in the situation. The expectation of the home crowds have sometimes been a little difficult to deal with, but Barty seems to be thriving on it. As we have a look at the conditions here tonight, it's been another beautiful day in Melbourne, 29 degrees Celsius at the moment. Hardly a breath of breeze around anywhere, and conditions just ideal. Jessica Pegula, one of 3 Americans into the quarterfinals stage. Danielle Collins and Madison Keys, the other, and Keys already through to the semi-final stage, having won today. So Keys awaits the winner of this.
Lovely to meet you.
You wanted something?
I'll tell you after.
Okay. Okay, ladies, so as you know, live electronic line calling, so the call might be by the system. The clock is in the 4 corner. The clock starts after announce the score. For the towels, you have the black boxes. Jessica, you have the one with the red sticker, and Ash, the one with the blue sticker. After the 2, please do a picture on that side with her, okay? Do you have any questions? Do you want ANZ or Margaret Molesworth?
Margaret.
Margaret. Margaret.
I will serve.
Serve. Good match. Look for the picture.
Big smiles all around. It is a match that we're very much looking forward to. My name's Jeff Masters, and I'm joined again this evening by the wonderful Chandra Rubin, who knows so much about playing at this level, and it's a big occasion, and looking forward to it. Chandra, I'm sure you are too.
I am. I think this will be a real test, for both players, but for Barty, certainly, with how easy her road has been, relatively speaking, to this quarterfinal match. And she's been so impressive, Barty, just how, solid, how calm she's stayed through, some areas of stress in her matches. And this young woman, Jessica Pegula, will look to test her even more tonight.
No question about that as we have a closer look at Jessica Pegula, as I said, from the United States, specifically Boca Raton. She lives in Florida these days, aged 27, 5'7" tall, 170 centimeters. Currently ranked 21, highest of 18 in November of last year. And last year was a very good year for Jessica. One career title to her name coming in 2019 at Washington. She's been runner-up a couple of times as well. Best Grand Slam was the quarterfinal here last year. Really enjoys playing here in Melbourne.
3
likes
minutes.
the courts, likes the speed of the conditions. We'll speak a little more about what she brings to the court in a little while as we have a closer look at Ashleigh Barty. Of course, anyone who follows the sport is aware of the fact that she is the current world #1, still only 25 years of age and not particularly tall, certainly in today's era, 5'5", 166 centimetres, has held that #1 ranking since June of 2019. 14 career titles, 5 of which came last year, and 1 already this year, 1 in Adelaide, one of the lead-up events to the Grand Slam here. And of course, she won Wimbledon last year and the French Championships in 2019, did Ashleigh Barty. So, Chandra, I think there's a couple of different styles here tonight. This woman, Jessica Pegula, hits through the court. A lot of aggression from the back of the court.
Yeah, she hits pretty flat, but she gets decent margin on her shot, so it has made her more consistent. It's why Pegula has been able to rise into the top 20 rankings in the world. And it's not always easy to push her back off the baseline. She likes to play very tight to the line and really dictate the tempo. And so that will be the challenge for Barty tonight, how to control play a bit more. We've seen Barty use her slice backhand beautifully so far in this event. And that may be the shot that is a big weapon for her again tonight.
Yeah, she's been described in the press this week as playing like a butterfly, very hard to catch, and brings so much variation, does Barty. And she credits the fact that she's, of course, never been, even from a little kid, never been a big person and had to find other ways of getting the job done. Couldn't win just through power alone. So she's developed so much variation in her game.
But she still does have power on the forehand side. She has a weapon, so she can use that shot to control the middle of the court. So it allows Barty to play in a couple of different ways, and it allows her to adjust her game as needed while on the court in these pressure situations.
Barty with the red shoes. She's joked this week.
30 seconds.
At the press conference, the press is always looking for an extra line, something to gravitate to, and they pointed out the red shoes. And
Ladies and gentlemen, this
said,
quarterfinal match will be played in the best of 3 tower
really
sets.
stretching at the moment,
Jessica
looking for things. She
Pegula,
said,
one
well,
toss,
what did I
elected
say?
to serve.
Red shoes go faster. That was her comment. So she's so relaxed, and the only time that they have played was, in fact, in the French Championships, which Ash won in 2019, and it was in the first round, and she didn't even remember that when quizzed on court in her last match by Jim Corey. She couldn't remember playing the match at all.
Yeah, first round, you can maybe understand. Wasn't really thinking of winning the title when she went up against Pegula, and things changed so quickly over those 2 weeks for Barty. So many emotions, the ups and downs, and finally holding her first Grand Slam trophy at the end. I mean, that's an incredible accomplishment. But you certainly expect tonight, Barty very aware of what Pegula can bring to the table on these courts.
Well, we'll get this match underway, and after a game, we'll go down courtside to Josh Eagle, who's going to be able to
Jessica
give us
Pegula to serve.
some up-close and personal information of exactly what's happening on court. But let's get this underway. Jessica Pegula from the US to start.